The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondel.
He got caught up in my mind, I remember. Under the rhythm of the drums, I surrender. There's something about the way he plays the thunder. A minute into his hums draws me under. He shapes all my curves, handling my nerves. In the dark I feel so much hunger. The way he touches me, I can't recover. I crave his heat, play me like a bee.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Stage Door Show. I'm Dave Hondel. Tonight we have another amazing guest with us, a talented Afro-fusion artist who's born in Lebanon and raised in France and now based in LA. She's been creating incredible music and her videos are so well done and I can't wait to get into that with her. So welcome to the show, Jen Ash. Jen, thanks for being with us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. We talked about Afro-fusion in the promo here. So what is Afro-fusion? Explain that to my listeners because it's just an amazing sound.
I grew up in France, and France has a lot of different sound from the French music, and the Caribbean island are a big part of the French culture. Has Guadeloupe and Martinique, and there's a lot of big African community in Europe. So I grew up listening to a lot of those, and playing basketball too. I feel like it was kind of like the package of like you play basketball, you listen to Afrobeat, and then it got me into it. Yeah, it was.
Well, first of all, let's just say you're playing basketball. You played 14 years of professional basketball. It wasn't just basketball; it was professional basketball. So I want our listeners to know that you're not just a talented musician and performer, but you're also a talented athlete. So talk about the switch from being a professional athlete then getting into music, because I think that's an incredible leap. But then you also moved to LA, which is another I would imagine, culture shock for you to move to LA. So talk about the transformation from being an athlete to getting into being a professional musician.
So it's funny because all the basketball players love music. So we used to do little parties on Sunday night, and everybody brings their guitar and then they start singing. So it's been a part of like the culture. But to get really serious about it, it was a little difficult. But I feel like the background as a basketball player and being like resilient and learning how to not take things personal, and because you get criticism on a daily basis by the
Yeah, for
coach.
sure, for sure.
So it kind of like helped me getting started in the music and staying grounded. Coming from France to LA. So the problem when I was staying in France is everybody look at me as a basketball player and they don't take me seriously as a singer at the beginning. So I had to like start from scratch in a place where nobody knows me, to be able to first discover my sound, uh, discover who I am as a woman. Because when I left France, I was 25, so it's still young. And it was a new start. I didn't want to hear about like nobody in France telling me I can't do it.
Yeah, right.
And so far away to just like find peace and freedom to do whatever I want without the noises of families and friends and everybody giving advices, wrong advices on things they don't know about. Yeah.
Well, also moving to LA, I mean, it's kind of a melting pot, almost like New York City, where there's a lot of different cultures. Was it welcoming your sound in LA? I would imagine it would be. You can find a lot of places, like I guess, to play live and also to record because of, I think everybody's kind of welcoming of different sounds in LA.
So I started doing R&B and I was tired of at some point of doing like sad song. But
Yeah.
because I have vocals abilities, people put me in a box of like, you're gonna do ballads and you're gonna go do this type of music. After COVID, I decided that this is not what I wanted to do. And I started acting and created a community of artists because sometimes the music industry, you're like stuck in your own studio and your own writing. And then the community is hard to like create. It's very hard to create a community around music. But when it comes to acting, you get to class and you already have your community. So they helped me embrace who I am and and where I come from, uh, which I was kind of like, I put that on the side for a little while. And then when I realized that it was a blessing to have all those influences, then I brought it to my sound and I'm having so much fun compared to the beginning. So it was a
Right.
working process, yeah.
Well, getting into acting and also you have a strong vocal presence. Did you find that the acting helped you with your stage presence, getting out there with having that background?
Oh, absolutely. Before I remember my first show, I was like, I'm not talking. Like, Jen, you're gonna have to talk to people at some point.
In between,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, in between, but I was so shy. So when I got into, yeah, acting, it just opened a new way of seeing things, and a lot of people at a live show like the talking part because they can relate to whatever story I have to tell. So yeah, it really helped me, and I'm super grateful for all my teachers and all the actors and actress that I've met along the way.
Yeah, and also your videos. I have to get into this because as a former video director myself, I was so impressed by your music videos. I Surrender is one amazing video. I Stand Without You is another great video. All your videos are so well done, and I know that you have like creative control over those videos. So where did you come up with the idea? I mean, how do you come up with the ideas? Is it the words in the song, or do you have like kind of an idea in your head, a vision in your head before you even write the song of how it's going to look, I guess, on screen for the video?
So usually I write about real life stories that happen to me. So I think it helps creating the video because it's your own life you're sharing. For I Surrender, I grab a bunch of my friends, bunch of actors, and they came that day to support and help me. But the vision comes from looking at locations and grabbing ideas from here and there and seeing like what you can do, what you cannot do because you're on the budget, who you want to cast. So I Surrender got based on one of my friends, Sean, that I wanted on the video. So I was like, how can I put him in there? So that's how I came up with the neighbors knocking at the door. So it's all a process of like finding ideas and being like open-minded and asking people around what they think about the song, how they will see things and grabbing ideas here and there. That's how I do it.
And also your live music is well done as well. A lot of people can do recording and you can do a great music video, but sometimes they kind of fall short when it comes to the live performances. And that's just not the same for you. I mean, you do well in both recording and live performance, and I think it's really a testament to how great an artist is when they can perform live and do it very well. And you have a very, very strong voice, and your band is great too. And that's the other thing is it sounds like a CD when you're playing live, which is it's a great thing. So talk about your crew around you, your band, and does that help you in your own, I guess, vocal presence to have like a great band behind you?
So playing live, yeah, it's another level of skills that you have to have because it's a lot of work, especially vocally, that you have to carry a whole hour or an hour and a half show. So it's every week vocal lessons and training. And I can't insist enough when people want to play live, you have to have a vocal training. It's not. I saw people play live with backtracks and their vocals are on the backtracks, and this is not the point of playing live for me.
Right.
So I insist on training. Also, the band is, I am so grateful for them. I found them on in the bar.
Oh, really?
In a bar like before COVID, and they were playing with another artist, and I went to see them. I didn't even start music yet. So I met
Wow.
them, and then when it was time for me, I called them. And of course, there's some adjustment, but my guitar player and my keyboard player, they've been with me for like since the beginning, 6 years. So I'm all about creating community because of basketball. It's like it's all about the team. I have so much respect for them, so I treat them with respect and pay them with respect and trying to be as communicative and transparent as possible and easygoing. Like I said to them a couple times, I was like, "You here to help me. I don't know how to play drums. I don't know how to play guitar. So whatever you think is best, I'm trusting you 100%." So it brings some warmth to the rehearsal and confidence that we have on each other, and I think it helps.
Do you find the crowds in LA when you play live, being that it's such an entertainment capital, that they're a little harder on the I guess performance than they would be at a smaller market in the United States? Because I think New York and LA, I mean, they're used to seeing great great music, I guess, every time they go out. So do you find that it's kind of a I guess the crowd is a little more I guess seasoned when it comes to listening to music than other places?
The crowd is tough. I did New York too, and it's kind of like brutal. I was talking to this band, High Step Society, that I played before, and they said LA is the worst place to play.
Oh, really?
Um, because there's so many choices,
Yeah.
so people don't know what's good and what is not good, and they don't they don't commit to a show as much as they would commit to a show outside of LA or New York because there's so many choices. Um, when they're in the room, I've been lucky enough to grab their attention, so I have no problem with people coming with our are already
Right.
in.
Right.
But the problem is like bringing them to the venue is
Yeah.
another. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of
Yeah.
work.
So do you, being in basketball, professional basketball for 14 years, do you have former teammates that have reached out and, you know, given you feedback on your music and your songs? I must like it.
So it's funny because my friends and basketball player in France, they listen to my music, but they don't tell me. Like sometimes they like pop up in my Instagram, like I've listened to your stuff, it's so good. I was like, can you tell me when you have a feedback? But
Yeah.
because I'm so far away, sometimes they don't want to like
Right. Right.
bother. So I know some of them are like big fans of the music. And what I like to do sometimes is send them the song before it comes out and ask them what they think
Oh,
about
that's a
it.
good idea. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. And they're like, oh, that's I feel like it's rewarding in a way where it's like this is how much I've done, and then I'm trusting you
Hmm.
to give feedback. It's cool, but not with everybody, just the closest one.
Have you ever thought that maybe someday going back to, maybe you already perform in France, I guess, but you ever thought about going back to your roots, I guess, and playing music there? Because what I understand is that European audiences are very smart when it comes to music, and they're very much students of music. So and it seems like they're very appreciative of the music there. So have you ever thought about maybe touring there, or have you done that already?
No, I thought about it, but I'm so competitive, so I want to come back and like do like the big stadium. I was like, I'm not coming back to Paris until I get the Stade de France. Yeah, stadium. So it's like in my mindset where I'm like, if I when I go back to Europe, I'm booking stadium. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
the goal.
Well, how are you promoting your music videos? Because I'd like to know how you're promoting it, because it's so well done. Like I can't tell you how professionally done your music videos are. They're so well done. So, I mean, is there do you have like a way for our listeners out there that might be thinking about doing music videos? How do you market your music videos?
So I sent the last one I sent them on the film festival circuit to see how it's going to be because it's kind of like a short film. It's producing a short
Sure,
film with music.
100%.
I'm creating little shorts on YouTube and I don't have a specific answer on how to
Hmm.
promote those music videos. Used to be MTV and all those channels that were
Yeah,
amazing putting music video out and it was like all we were looking at all day.
yeah,
But I feel like with social media and phones, it's getting same. It's too many choices, too many noises, people attentions are down, so they're looking at like 5, 6 seconds of the music video when
right.
actually it's 2 minutes and a half. It's not that long.
Yeah,
You can
that's
stay a little longer.
it's so well. You're so right, and that's so well said because when I got out of the music business doing videos, it was when MTV, VH1, BET went to uh, reality shows for the most part. I mean, you really don't see on television music videos. You might have a couple streaming platforms that play music videos, and again, TikTok, like you said, or social media. There's some music videos out there, but like you said, I think the society now is so quick to scroll through and just watch, like you said, 10 seconds of something or 15 seconds, which I mean, it's better than nothing, but we've become a TikTok society where everything is quick. And so I just, like I said, just keep doing the work you're doing because they're just amazing. I mean, there's a lot of music videos out there, but when it catches your attention, like yours do, I mean that's speaking volumes for the work that you put into it. So continue to do that. I mean, really, it's just amazing work. So speaking of amazing work, what you have anything on the horizon? Anything new that our listeners can get excited about?
Yeah, so this year I'm getting a little personal about my family, my womanhood and religion. So I'm trying to get topics that are like a little more like sensitive and just talk about what I think about it. And yeah, so I wrote like Stuck in Time, talks about my parents that don't understand my what I'm doing with my life, you know? They're
Sure.
like, you're getting old, you need to figure out what you want. And it's just like such an old way of thinking to have a 9 to 5 job. So I wrote a song about that. Woman is about deciding not to have a kid in this society. It's getting more expensive and difficult to raise a kid. So and it's a big sacrifice that a lot of people are not aware of. So I wanted to talk about that and religion. So that I grew up Christian and decided to step away from religion. So I wrote a song called Hell, and I'm planning a big music video for that one. That's going to be a very cool one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of great things on the horizon for you, and we're excited to when that comes out, we'll definitely push it on our show. So let us know. And the other thing is, we have a lot of listeners that are singers themselves or musicians. So, what kind of advice do you have for them? Being an indie artist yourself, what kind of advice can you give somebody that's just getting started? Because it's a tough business, as you know. It's not easy. So, what are some things, or what's the main thing, I guess, that you would say to somebody that wants to get into this business?
So I think the first thing is to put your ego aside. And because I came from basketball, I didn't know anything about the music industry when I started. I think the quality I have is I don't care if I look dumb asking a stupid question. So by having this ego on the side and asking questions that are actually important, I've learned along the way the whole business of the music industry. So when people's like, you don't know this, I have no problem saying no. And I think that's very valuable. Don't pretend you know when you don't, because it's gonna show along the way.
Right.
Second of all, I think love what you do because it's not an easy path that we choose. And I thought it would take me like 2 or 3 years. I'm like 8 years in.
Right. Right. For sure.
Yeah, and I'm still not where I want to be, but
Right.
the journey, and you need to like the journey and understand why you do that. When I play live, I understand that my purpose is to share with people, and this is my job to make them feel a certain way and make them understand that they're not alone in their lives. That's our job as an artist or as creative. So understanding that, it makes it easier, but and resilient. Some days I don't want to do it. Some days I just want to move to Bali, be in the middle of nowhere because
Right.
it's so hard. But I put a schedule and this is what I have to do. And then day by day you keep pushing and keep doing it. But it's not easy, so you got to be mentally strong.
And by the way, it's not just independent artists that have to go through this. It's also, bands and singers that have been famous at one point and are still, gigging and out there working hard and playing clubs. So it's not just, there's not a magic pill that's going to get you famous and keep you there. It's to sustain something like that is one of the hardest things in the world to do. And, the bands that can do that, I mean, they're like the less than 1% of the bands and singers out there that can do that. So it's always going to be hard work, but that's great advice. And before we go, just my last question is, what do you want to leave behind to your fans as a legacy? I don't know if you've thought about anything like that, but when it's all said and done, what do you want people to think of Jen Ash?
I think it's more about self-love and freedom. I think we live in a society where we get told what to do, and I feel like thinking outside the box is not the wrong thing. So I want them to think about me as, anything is possible, and we're here to love and to share with people, and that's pretty much it. That's all we can do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate that, Jen. And, we're really looking forward to seeing your next projects. And again, like I said, let us know about that when they come out. And thank you for the honor of your time tonight. I really appreciate that. And you do great work. I really am impressed, and I just love what you're putting out there. So again, I really appreciate your time and my best to you and your work.
Thank you so much.